Welcome back, everyone, to Against the Call. Today we have a special episode for you guys. The Lakeland Magic GM, Kevin Tiller, is with us today. Kevin, how is your day going so far?
My day's good. It's been a little busy.
Yeah.
Getting ready for another game tonight. So,
Mhm.
last home game of the season. So, looking forward
Yeah.
to it.
Now, this matchup tonight is going to be against the Long Island Nets. They're the best in the Eastern Conference right now.
Yep.
Are there any additional rotation things that you've been able to manage throughout this game? Are we ready for tonight?
Yeah, no, we'll be ready. We played them 2 nights ago, and we are up big early. But they're a really good team, obviously, and they kind of came back and got us from three, and they pressured us a little bit. So that kind of frazzled us a bit. But today, it's hard to beat a team twice.
Mhm.
So hopefully today we can come out with a little bit more juice and kind of keep it throughout the
Oh yeah,
game.
we're ready to take that W. You're gonna lead the way. We already know that.
That's
All right,
funny.
Mike.
So my first question I had for you today, just how did you get where you are?
Uh, to get where I'm at, I say first, starting with the Lord, God being gracious and put me in this position to be here. I started at Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a small D3 school. I was a multi-sport athlete, football, basketball, track, and then I was a GA at VCU with Shaka Smart and Will Wade. And then from there, I transitioned to be an intern with the Orlando Magic, and I've been with them basically kind of throughout my duration of my pro career. Outside of 1 year, I left and worked for Team Ignite. I did their inaugural year and came back here as a scout, and then my first year as a GM.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you were a scout. Whenever you were a scout, were there any stars or any players that you thought would be an elite talent in the NBA, future superstar? Was there one guy that you were specifically watching?
Um, I think it was a bunch. I mean, probably the same type of guys that everyone else kind of saw. Shea Gilgis, I liked him a lot out of Kentucky. So it's good to kind of see him come put his stuff to fruition. But overall, kind of the same as everyone else. Just always trying to find the smaller college guys too.
Oh yeah, Mike.
What made you want to become a general manager of a team?
I think it's like a little kid's dream, kind of you play
Yeah.
2K and you put teams together and it's fun. And I used to do it like on a piece of paper and put different teams. But as I've gotten to this role and even a little bit prior was the ability to impact people. I know it sounds cliche, but the ability to be able to impact players and staff and help them and teach them, about life, but then also about the game of basketball. And I'm it's super competitive. So being able to put all that together was, this job was ideal for me.
Yeah. Now, is it anything like 2K? I got to ask that question.
Well, it's easy in 2K. You can just simulate everything, simulate it. It's real easy. But no,
Everyday
in real
grind.
life, it's obviously a lot harder in real life.
Yeah.
Oh man. So whenever have you always thought about becoming a GM? Has that been the end goal, or was that just where God put you in place?
More what God put me in place. I thought I was going to be a broadcaster. Thought about a cameraman. Thought about a coach. Um, even maybe AD. So
Mhm.
this role, how I came across, kind of was recommended. It wasn't something I chased after or kind of let people know I'm interested in. It kind of just came to me. I was very fortunate. The guy prior to me, call him Tunji. He works for us in Orlando. He's our vice president. He had the job prior, and he recommended me to for the role. So just being very appreciative of him seeing something in me, and obviously Jeff Wellman, our president, approving and kind of signing off on something that he also agreed as well. So
Mhm. Man
I'm
for
just
the
very
job.
thankful.
That is.
Yeah.
One one of my other questions is do you want to be a GM of an NBA team in the future, or are you happy where you're at in Lakeland?
I enjoy where I'm at. You think about it. Of course, not gonna lie, say I don't think about it, but I've always been a guy that kind of always focused on where I was at, enjoyed where I'm at, and I thoroughly planted here in Lakeland. I enjoy it. I enjoy the call ups. I enjoy going out there, G League contract guys. I enjoy two ways. I enjoy seeing guys live out their dreams, whether or not they're with my team or another team. I enjoy just the grind of the G League. Traveling commercial, early morning flights, delays. Got to check bags. All those different things that go into like traveling. I
Yeah.
feel very fortunate. So I've enjoyed where I'm at thus far.
Yeah. Now we're Lakeland natives too. And other than watching the Lakeland Magic, what are some fun things that you've been able to do in Lakeland?
So I went to a bowling alley a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna forget the name, but it was really, really a good time. We did like a season ticket holder event there,
Mhm.
so I was able to spend some time in Lakeland at the bowling alley. I did like another little talk at a local restaurant. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting every restaurant and bowling alley's name. But I've been
So
able to
good.
enjoy some time there. But also Lakeland has a lot of beautiful water, especially in that kind of like downtown area.
Yeah.
So to speak. And so I'm always down there walking or kind of like but right before the game or even right after this, I'm gonna go and walk it. Just there's a place called ah coffee shop right downtown. I know I'm going blank on every name, but I go to that coffee shop every day. So
Is it
yeah,
Black and Brew?
that's it. There you
That's
go.
it. All right.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
no.
it. Yep.
Now, I mean, speaking of the Waters, we got the Swans. Are you more of a Lakeland Magic or a Lakeland Swans fan?
I'm more of I actually don't mind the Lakeland Swans, but I think I'm gonna tend to go to Lakeland Magic,
Yeah, more traditional. There's a lot of talk. Like people are like, man, I kind of like the Lakeland Swans a little bit better.
It's actually not a bad name. It's
Yeah,
actually not a bad name. We actually were the Lakeland Swans for a night, so it's
yeah,
actually not a
yeah.
bad name.
That's
I
cool,
saw
man.
that.
But do you have any advice for anyone trying to join like a front office or want to be in the front office of GM in the future?
Yeah, I will first say, obviously meeting people. I know people say network, but meeting people, but being authentic and being genuine. And then also not asking for a job. I know a lot of people will just email me or send me a message on LinkedIn, directly asking for a job without actually getting to know myself or me allowing me to get to know them. So I
Mhm.
would highly recommend that. And two, I would recommend getting involved in something basketball now, whether it be the YMCA, high school, college, to kind of be able to speak on different experiences that you can kind of relate to in the interview. So I recommend those two things: basketball experience and getting to know people, but not asking directly for a job, but
Yeah,
building a relationship.
that's very good. And with being a GM, take us through like kind of your daily life, what you do as a GM for the Lakeland Magic.
Uh, so basically it varies. So it could be travel, it could be scouting. I also help scout with the Atlanta Magic.
Mm.
Obviously, meeting with my staff daily and kind of talking about what are the to-dos of the day. So if it's practice, okay, do we have everything set up for practice? Do guys have any extracurricular activities off the court that we need to attend to? Do guys need anything? Preparation for the upcoming travel. And then also talking about the team's players, talking about the upcoming team, who do we like on their team, who do we may want to target this year versus later. Um, just constant conversations. How can we do better with our current guys now? What do they need? Making sure that we are as accessible and giving our guys everything we need. So that's kind of been my vision this year. It's just making the player first, and that's kind of what I've been focused on.
Now, talking about players, like you were able to work with Jonathan Isaac over the past few months, correct? So,
Yeah.
how was that? How was that interacting with him? Was he a cool guy to be around? Things like that.
Oh, amazing experience. I mean, he came in and joined right in with the group, and that was really big, because our guys have watched him on TV, looked up to him. So see him come and be a part of our group and open arms, one to just be a part, then one to show prove you need to be the man or take any extra shots because he felt he deserved it. He was all about winning and all about helping these guys develop, and then not only on the court but off the court, speaking to him. So it was super beneficial for us.
Yeah, yeah, and I have to ask this. I'm a big Tennessee fan, and Admiral Schofield played for the Lakeland Magic. Did you have a chance to talk with him as well?
I did, and he's another guy, great leader in the locker room, has kind of been it all. Been drafted, two-aid contract, kind of like been through every kind of cycle in the NBA. So he was able to relay those messages to our guys, especially our rookies who are kind of just starting out in the G League, and obviously all of them are hopeful for the NBA. So him being able to give his advice and his 2 cents of what's worked for him has been great.
He's a great guy. Great story
Yeah.
too, man. I
Mhm.
love that. I love that he was in Lakeland. That would have been awesome to meet him. But Mike, what's some questions you got?
So I saw, like you said, you were big multiple sports growing up. You played a lot. Out of all the sports you played, was basketball your favorite, or was there other sports you'd like to play more?
No, football. I'm a football guy first. Football is my love. I'm a football guy. I need to get to like a University of Florida game or a Florida State game, Miami game, because I haven't been to like a big college football game here in Florida. UCS probably the closest, but outside
Yeah, I
of
was just about to say, the bounce house is where you should think about going, man. Better than
their games
Miami.
are so good. No, their games are great. Their games are
Yeah.
great. No, they're good. But I need to get to a game. I need to get to Gainesville. Like I hear it's a to do.
The swamp's a different experience, man.
That's
Like
what I've heard.
Now
I've
the bounce
heard.
house is better, but yeah, the swamp is cool and all that. But yeah, I also saw that you play a little bit of track. I did that in high school as well. I'm a freshman in college now, but what was the events that you ran in track?
4x4 was like my main event. I did hurdles briefly, but 4x4 was 4x4 and just the 400 were my two events. And I was decent at it. I wasn't like exceptional. I was decent.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it there.
When coach said you were running the 4x4, were you a little annoyed with that? I know it gets kind of heated with some track guys when they hear they got to run that.
Well, at first when I first ran it, I thought you could sprint the whole way, and obviously elite runners do. But man, probably 40% into it. First of all, I'm leading everybody. I remember my first race. I'm leading everybody and thinking like, oh, this is easy. And then you get tired. The next thing you know, you see other people's legs just, run right past. That was my wake up. So
Yeah, I ran the 800 and that was not fun, dude. So
yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
I can't imagine. But yeah, man. Throughout like your many roles as a player and the different front offices, has there been a special game or a special sports moment that you remember being a part of?
Is in my entire college career.
Yeah, entire college career, front office career, any of those.
Honestly, I would say even most recent when we played in Toronto recently against the 905 Raptors, and obviously it was two games we need to win on the road where we're down a man, so we're playing with 9 guys versus they're like 12, and we win the first game, and so it was obviously hard to beat a team twice. So the entire game, we're like basically struggling to keep a lead. They're hitting every shot. They're playing good defense. They switched up some of their schemes. We couldn't really get into a consistent rhythm, but we found a way in the fourth quarter to kind of battle through. And Xavier Simpson hit like a game-winning three with 3 seconds left on the clock, and just to hear the crowd and just like what was on the line, because if we lose that game, we're definitely out of the playoffs, especially since we lost the other day. So those games, they bring me so much joy because you see how much our guys put into the work, in the off season or even during the week, and especially someone like Xavier who is constantly working on his craft daily. To see that kind of pay off for him, it was cool.
And now you mentioned the playoffs. I don't know much about the G League playoffs. I do know they're starting next Tuesday. Are the Magic sneaking in here, or are we not making it this year?
Now that's the plan. So it's basically 16 battling for 3 spots.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically on our end, we need to win tonight and we need to win on Saturday against Iowa. And we need a couple other teams to lose. So every team that we need to lose, plays tonight, and they'll play again either Friday or Saturday. So crossing our fingers, 1, we have to do our part and win. And then 2, hopefully a couple of teams, drop the ball. We sneak in there. That's the goal.
Hey, so I don't know if you know off the top of your head, who are the other teams I need to lose?
So we need the Cleveland Charge. We need the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. We need Capital City. These are just any of these teams, not all of them, but any of these teams. Motor City, Maine Celtics, Windy City, and then obviously there's us, 7.
All right, I just had to know so I can send bad juju their way and maybe.
Please. Yeah. Let's start with Long Island first. We need Long Island to like.
let's start with them first. Hey, I think we're gonna do it tonight. I mean, especially after you being on against the call, it's just meant to be. Like
that's what I'm saying, right? Hey, I'll take whatever.
Growing up, what were like your favorite teams to watch, or your favorite teams in general?
As far as basketball is concerned, I really like Vince Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson. I'm from Virginia, so Allen Iverson was big. And then in football, I love the Cowboys. Terrell Owens when he came aboard, but Deion Sanders, Randy Moss. I mean, Emmitt Smith. My favorite all-time athlete is Reggie Bush. Like he's who I loved in college, just because every time you watch him, and I'm on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast, and back then, I mean, I was just kind of starting the social media era, so it wasn't like I could see a bunch of highlight clips of him, unless you went to YouTube. So every time I'd be able to watch him on Saturday afternoon, Saturday nights, I mean, he always put on a show, and he was so humble, and he was so good. So for me, he's my favorite athlete of all time.
You're definitely are you pushing for him to get the Heisman back?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
I think the whole
absolutely,
nation is, man.
absolutely.
Now, what position did you play in football?
Receiver. So
Receiver.
I started as like a DN, got transitioned to receiver in my sophomore year of college, but was plagued with injuries, broken fingers, broken hands. So I
Mhm.
didn't have like a very um, very successful on field career. Probably, but I was one of those like NFL hopefuls. I had the speed, I had the size. I'm 6'3". I was like 195 pounds. Ran like a 4.4 40. So I had all the traits. It's just when it came to game film, I'd get hurt and then it'd be a wrap. So
It's not the pathway, man. Now you're the GM.
no, I know, no, it's crazy. It's crazy.
When one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
exactly.
Yep,
No,
exactly.
with all the jerseys that the Lakeland Magic have been providing this past season, the seasons before it, what have been some of your favorites? So there's like the Office jersey, there's the Lakeland Swans jersey. You got the Hispanic Heritage jersey. Is there a specific one that you like?
Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes,
The
yeah,
Looney
those,
Tunes
those
one
are
was
the
the
ones I was
coolest. I
looking
thought
at.
that was really, really, really cool. Yeah. So I'll say the Looney Tunes one for sure.
That is a fan favorite, man. Did you guys do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one too?
We did. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that one.
Yep.
I think there was like a Star Wars night too.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had so yep, yep.
man, are you part of that at all? Do you kind of put your pitch into the creative team there at
Nah,
all?
they do a good job. They don't need me, so I just go like everyone else. They
If
do a
you could
great
give a
job.
pitch, is there any specific jersey you might want to see?
Oh, mm, is it specific? Maybe like because I like the beach, so maybe like a weather one, like it's like a beach one. I don't even know how you do it. I don't know, but
Like a
something like that.
tropical theme, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
kind of.
yeah, yeah. Kind of
Okay.
like the Marlins or like
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like something
yeah.
the
little
Dolphins even a
Vice
little.
City action, a little
That's
bit.
it, exactly. You
Yeah.
know what? That's what
Okay.
it would be. Vice City.
Okay.
Exactly. For when Miami Heat to do it, yeah, exactly.
I don't know if the Sioux Falls team would be so happy about that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But one of my last questions for you would have to be, we won the G League championship 2 years ago in 2021. And when we win another one, of course, uh, where's that going to be at your life accomplishments if you're still GM of the team, which you probably will be at the time because it'll be this year. But where would that rank on your life accomplishments?
It'll rank at one of the tops. And it'll rank not because necessarily the trophy obviously will be good, obviously, but it would be because it was a team effort. It's truly this year. We've had a lot of adversity with injuries, with different guys. And we played majority of the season with 9 guys, and kind of having different guys join the roster from Orlando, which has been helpful. But to win it all, despite all that, and despite the fact that we've lost a couple games or a few games by 1 point or 2 points or in overtime, to be able to overcome all that and win a championship, especially in the way we're going to do it now, where we have to win two, I guess the number one team in the league today, and then we have to go to Iowa and beat them. And then, we need 2 other teams to lose. And if they do lose, we're in. And then they go and just like sweep,
Yeah.
like it'll be up there.
We're gonna need a 30 for 30.
I'm telling you. Oh, y'all can do it. Y'all can direct it. I give permission.
We got you.
We'll
got
do
you.
it.
I give
We'll
permission.
have a clip from this podcast too.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Mike, you got anything?
That's all the questions for me.
Yeah, Kevin, man, thank you so much for coming on today. We've been playing this for a minute, and to have your input is so important to us, especially being from Lakeland, cheering on the Lakeland Magic ever since they've been around. And yeah, man, you're just doing a great job this season. We might sneak into the playoffs. You've only been there for like what, 7-8 months. So
Mhm.
I mean, the fact that you've already grown this team so much, you've been able to have Jonathan Isaac, guys like that. It's incredible. And we just want to thank you for all you're doing for our G League team.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, the Lakeland community has, completely embraced us, by showing up to games, sticking with us through the thick and thin. And that's another reason why our championship would be great, because I want to give back to the community, because a lot of people do care about Lakeland. And, we have fans who will come up to some of our players and say, hey, we missed the game the other day, but we taped it and watched it at home. It's just like stuff like that. That's uncommon. I go to other places in G Leagues and they have like 2 people in the stands. We have a great crowd. I mean, our business side has done a great job attracting a crowd. And so for me, man, I just want to bring a championship to the community because they deserve it.
Yeah, and that reminds me, like last night I was watching Warriors versus Mavs game. They're talking about Team Ignite and stuff like that. They're talking about the G. This was a commentator, I forgot who. He's kind of talking about the G League. They're playing for games that don't really matter. I heard that and I was like, well, I think that the community cares like a lot about these teams, and for you to say that, it obviously shows that the community has the Lakeland Magic's back, any G League teams back. And yeah, I'm just glad that you're giving back to the community in that way, giving us something to cheer for, giving us, just out there, you doing things for the fan sweepstakes. I've been seeing a lot of those. Haven't won yet, but that's whatever. And just things like that. But yeah, man, it's great. It's great that you're able to do that.
Hopefully, you guys, once we make the playoffs, you guys will, come be at the game.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. You got to cheer them on now. Mike,
Sure.
You got anything?
That's it for me. Just thank you so much for joining.
Yeah,
it means a lot to us.
Yeah, for sure.
And wish you the best of luck.
No, thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man.